global attention has once again converged on the intersection of entertainment and professional sports, as Taylor Swift and NFL star Travis Kelce continue to dominate headlines and public conversation. What began as a personal relationship has evolved into one of the most closely followed stories in international media, not because of controversy, but because of its cultural impact and sustained public interest. Taylor Swift, widely recognized as one of the most influential artists of her generation, remains at the peak of her career. With record-breaking tours, chart-topping albums, and an unmatched global fan base, her presence alone has long shaped trends in music and popular culture. However, her recent appearances at NFL games to support Travis Kelce have expanded that influence into a new arena. Television broadcasts, sports media outlets, and social platforms have repeatedly highlighted her attendance, turning routine game coverage into moments of viral engagement. Travis Kelce, meanwhile, continues to assert himself as one of the NFL's most consistent and charismatic players. Despite the heightened attention surrounding his personal life, his performance on the field has remained steady. Analysts note that rather than becoming a distraction, the increased visibility has amplified interest in the league itself. Merchandise sales have surged, broadcast ratings have risen, and new audiences, particularly younger demographics, have shown growing engagement with American football. The relationship between Swift and Kelce has rapidly moved beyond the label of celebrity gossip. Media coverage increasingly frames the story as a convergence of two major cultural forces: global pop music and elite professional sports. Swift's appearances at games have drawn international attention to the NFL, while Kelce's visibility has introduced sports audiences to conversations typically centered on the music industry. This crossover effect has been widely discussed by marketing experts and cultural commentators as a rare and powerful phenomenon. What continues to distinguish the story is its tone. In an industry often driven by drama and speculation, the public narrative surrounding Swift and Kelce has remained notably restrained. There have been no public disputes, sensational statements, or attempts to exploit attention for controversy. Instead, both figures have maintained focus on their respective careers. Swift continues her demanding tour schedule across continents, while Kelce remains committed to his team's competitive goals. Digital trends reflect this sustained interest. Search engines report consistently high volumes for keywords related to both names, while social media engagement spikes with each public appearance. Clips of Swift reacting in stadium suites and post-game interviews with Kelce regularly circulate online, generating millions of views without relying on scandal-driven narratives. Observers note that this level of engagement suggests long-term fascination rather than fleeting curiosity as public attention evolves. The conversation has shifted from initial surprise to broader reflection. Fans and commentators increasingly view the relationship as an example of balance under pressure. Swift is known for carefully managing her public image and creative direction, while Kelce has built a reputation for discipline and professionalism. Together, they project an image of stability that resonates with audiences fatigued by short-lived celebrity headlines. The culmination of this attention has come as both continue to reach milestones independently. Swift's concerts draw massive crowds and critical acclaim, while Kelce achieves key performances during the NFL season. Media narratives emphasize that neither success appears diminished by the other's presence. Instead, their parallel achievements reinforce the perception of mutual support without compromise. As of now, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce remain clear favorites in the public eye. Their appeal lies not in spectacle, but in consistency and authenticity. In a fast-moving media landscape where attention is difficult to sustain, their story continues to hold global interest. Industry observers suggest that as long as both maintain their focus and measured approach, the spotlight surrounding them is unlikely to fade anytime soon. Public fascination has also been fueled by the broader implications of their visibility. Industry analysts point out that Swift's presence at NFL games has subtly reshaped how sports broadcasts engage with mainstream audiences. Camera cuts, commentary references, and social media highlights now reflect an awareness that the audience is no longer limited to traditional sports fans. This shift has sparked debate within broadcasting circles about the future of cross-industry storytelling, where entertainment and sports no longer operate in isolated lanes. From a commercial perspective, the ripple effects are difficult to ignore. Brands associated with the NFL have reported increased online engagement during games attended by Swift, while fashion items linked to her public appearances have seen rapid spikes in search volume. Kelce himself has experienced a measurable boost in visibility beyond the sports world, with invitations to entertainment-focused platforms and endorsements that extend past the usual athlete demographic. Market observers describe this as a rare alignment where personal narrative enhances, rather than distracts from, professional branding. Despite the scale of attention, both Swift and Kelce have remained notably selective in their public responses. Neither has leaned heavily into interviews centered on their relationship, a decision that has only intensified curiosity. Media experts argue that this restraint has played a key role in sustaining interest. By avoiding oversharing, the story retains a sense of intrigue, allowing public imagination to fill the gaps without crossing into fatigue. Cultural commentators have also examined why this particular pairing resonates so strongly. At its core, the narrative reflects themes that extend beyond celebrity culture: ambition, discipline, and the challenge of maintaining personal connection under constant scrutiny. Swift's career has long been defined by evolution and control over her artistic journey, while Kelce's trajectory highlights perseverance and excellence within a physically demanding sport. Together, they embody parallel forms of success that feel earned rather than manufactured. The international dimension further amplifies the story. Swift's global reach means that moments from American football games are now discussed in regions where the sport traditionally held limited appeal. Conversely, Kelce's association with Swift has introduced him to audiences who may have never followed the NFL before. This exchange has broadened cultural awareness on both sides, creating conversations that transcend borders and industries. As the season progresses and tour dates continue, speculation naturally persists about how the relationship will adapt to demanding schedules and long distances. Yet, public perception remains largely optimistic. Observers note that both have built careers around resilience and adaptability, qualities that suggest an ability to navigate logistical challenges without public friction. Rather than questioning sustainability, many fans now view the relationship as a long-term narrative unfolding in real time. The media landscape itself has evolved alongside the story. Coverage has shifted from sensational headlines to more analytical reporting, examining metrics, audience behavior, and cultural significance. This transition underscores how the Swift-Kelce narrative has matured from breaking news into an ongoing case study in modern celebrity influence. Universities and marketing forums have even referenced the phenomenon when discussing the power of cross-platform visibility. Importantly, neither figure appears to have lost sight of individual identity. Swift continues to emphasize artistry, songwriting, and performance, maintaining control over her creative output. Kelce, meanwhile, remains firmly grounded in competition, training, and leadership within his team. Their public images, while interconnected, have not merged into a single brand, a balance that many observers consider essential to the relationship's credibility. As attention continues to build, so does anticipation for future milestones. Each new concert, each high-stakes game, becomes another chapter closely watched by millions. Yet, unlike many high-profile stories, this one does not rely on escalation. Its strength lies in continuity, the steady progression of two careers running in parallel, occasionally intersecting under the brightest lights that in an era defined by rapid cycles of attention and short-lived trends. The sustained interest in Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stands out. Their story reflects a shift in how audiences engage with public figures, favoring authenticity and consistency over spectacle. As long as that balance holds, the narrative surrounding them is likely to remain a fixture in global news coverage. For now, the spotlight remains firmly in place. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce continue to move forward, individually accomplished yet publicly connected, navigating fame with measured confidence. Their presence across headlines, broadcasts, and digital platforms suggests that this is not merely a moment, but an evolving story, one that the world continues to follow with unwavering attention. Media analysts have begun to describe the Swift-Kelce phenomenon as a blueprint for modern celebrity relevance. Unlike past high-profile relationships that burned brightly and faded quickly, this narrative continues to renew itself through context rather than controversy. Each new setting, Whether a sold-out stadium concert or a nationally televised playoff game adds another layer to the story, allowing it to evolve without forcing dramatic turns. This organic progression is increasingly rare in a digital ecosystem driven by instant gratification. The timing has also played a significant role. Taylor Swift's current era represents not only commercial dominance but also artistic consolidation, with her re-recorded albums reclaiming ownership narratives and her tours redefining live performance economics. Swift stands as a symbol of control in an industry often marked by volatility. Travis Kelce, similarly, occupies a moment of peak influence within the NFL, where veteran leadership and media-savvy personalities are reshaping how athletes engage with fans beyond the field. Their alignment at these career highs has amplified the perception that this relationship is not a detour, but a parallel ascent. Newsrooms across the globe have adjusted their framing accordingly. Headlines increasingly avoid speculative language, instead focusing on measurable impact, audience growth, brand crossover, and cultural reach. Sports journalists report on games with awareness of a broader viewership, while entertainment reporters incorporate data-driven insights typically reserved for business sections. This blending of editorial approaches reflects how the story itself has blurred traditional media boundaries. Public reaction has also matured. Initial curiosity, fueled by surprise and novelty, has transitioned into sustained interest rooted in familiarity. Audiences now recognize recurring patterns. Swift appearing during key games, Kelce maintaining composure during interviews, and these moments create a sense of continuity. Rather than asking whether the relationship is real, much of the public conversation has shifted toward what it represents: stability under scrutiny. Sociologists have weighed in, suggesting that the appeal lies partly in contrast to prevailing narratives of excess and burnout. Both figures are known for intense work ethics and long-term planning. Swift's meticulous tour schedules and creative rollouts mirror Kelce's disciplined training regimens and strategic gameplay. Their shared commitment to preparation and performance resonates with audiences navigating their own pressures in a hyper-connected world. The economic implications continue to unfold. Cities hosting Swift's concerts report tourism boosts comparable to major sporting events, while NFL markets see expanded international engagement tied to her presence. Digital platforms benefit as well, with live stream clips, reaction videos, and commentary driving sustained traffic. Unlike viral spikes that dissipate quickly, engagement metrics surrounding Swift and Kelce show a steadier curve, suggesting depth rather than mere volume. Critically, neither Swift nor Kelce appears to be actively steering the narrative. There are no coordinated announcements, no joint appearances designed purely for publicity. This absence of overt orchestration has reinforced the perception of authenticity. Media theorists argue that in an age of curated personas, restraint itself has become a powerful signal, one that audiences instinctively trust as months pass. The relationship has also influenced how future celebrity stories are evaluated. Comparisons emerge whenever new high-profile pairings surface, yet few generate similar traction. Analysts note that visibility alone is insufficient. What sets Swift and Kelce apart is credibility built over years of consistent achievement. Their story benefits from foundations already established long before their paths crossed. Looking ahead, speculation remains inevitable, but it is notably less urgent. Rather than fixating on endpoints, coverage now emphasizes process. How will Swift balance new creative projects with ongoing tours? How will Kelce navigate the later stages of an elite athletic career? These questions exist independently, yet they are increasingly discussed within the same narrative space, reinforcing the sense of shared momentum without dependency. The endurance of this story highlights a broader shift in audience values. Modern consumers of media appear less interested in spectacle for its own sake and more drawn to narratives that feel sustainable. Swift and Kelce, intentionally or not, have become symbols of that shift, proof that public fascination can be maintained through consistency, mutual respect, and professional focus. As global attention continues, the story remains open-ended. There is no dramatic cliffhanger, no forced turning point. Instead, there is a steady unfolding marked by achievements, appearances, and quiet moments that capture disproportionate interest precisely because they are understated. In a media environment saturated with noise, this measured rhythm stands out. For now, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce continue to occupy a unique position in public consciousness. They are not just a headline, but a reference point, a case study in how fame, when navigated with discipline and intention, can transcend industries and sustain relevance. As long as their individual paths keep advancing, the narrative connecting them is likely to persist, not as fleeting news, but as an ongoing chapter in contemporary cultural history. Observers note that what keeps this story alive is not escalation, but repetition with variation. Each week brings familiar elements: another game, another concert, another brief public appearance, yet none of them feel redundant. Instead, they function like recurring scenes in a long-running narrative, reinforcing emotional investment. Audiences return not to see something shocking, but to confirm continuity. In media terms, this is one of the strongest drivers of retention, and it explains why coverage remains consistent rather than peaking and collapsing. There is also a generational dimension at play. Taylor Swift's fan base spans teenagers, millennials, and older listeners who have followed her career since its early stages. Travis Kelce's reach, meanwhile, cuts across traditional sports demographics. The overlap created by their visibility has produced a rare shared conversation space where music fans, sports fans, and casual observers engage with the same storyline. This convergence has given the narrative unusual staying power, as it is constantly being refreshed by new audiences discovering it for the first time. International media outlets have increasingly contextualized the relationship within broader discussions about American cultural exports. Swift's concerts already function as global events, while the NFL continues its push into overseas markets. The combined attention surrounding Swift and Kelce has, intentionally or not, supported that expansion. Matches, teams, and players receive heightened exposure in regions where Swift's influence is stronger than the league's traditional footprint. Analysts describe this as soft cultural amplification rather than direct promotion. At the same time, scrutiny has not disappeared. Every long-running public story invites counter-narratives, and this one is no exception. Some commentators question sustainability, pointing to the historical pressures faced by high-profile couples. Others debate whether the level of attention is healthy or excessive. Yet even critical perspectives tend to acknowledge a key difference: the absence of visible instability. Without dramatic incidents to anchor skepticism, criticism remains speculative rather than reactive. This dynamic has influenced how journalists approach coverage. Rather than chasing rumors, many outlets now rely on verifiable moments: appearances, performances, statistics, and schedules. The tone has shifted toward documentation instead of conjecture. In doing so, the media itself has become part of the stabilizing force around the narrative, reinforcing its legitimacy through restraint. From a psychological standpoint, experts suggest that audiences may be projecting broader hopes onto the story. In uncertain social and economic climates, narratives that suggest balance and mutual support can feel reassuring. Swift and Kelce are not presented as flawless or idealized, but as capable individuals managing complexity. That framing aligns with contemporary values that prioritize competence and resilience over fantasy. The commercial world continues to adapt in response. Advertising strategies increasingly account for moments when Swift is expected to attend games or when Kelce is likely to be mentioned in entertainment contexts. Digital campaigns are timed accordingly, not to exploit personal details, but to align with peaks in public attention. This reflects a more sophisticated understanding of how cultural moments propagate across platforms. Importantly, the narrative has avoided a common pitfall: overexposure through self-reference. Neither Swift nor Kelce frequently references the relationship in their work or public statements. Songs, interviews, and appearances remain focused on professional output. This separation preserves mystery and prevents audience fatigue. Media scholars often cite this as a key reason why interest has not declined despite prolonged coverage. As months turn into seasons, the relationship has become part of the background rhythm of popular culture. It no longer interrupts news cycles. It coexists with them. A game recap mentions Swift's presence in passing. A concert review references Kelce briefly before returning to musical analysis. This normalization is, paradoxically, a sign of enduring relevance. Stories that burn out rarely achieve this stage. Looking forward, attention is likely to intensify around transitional moments. The end of a tour leg, a playoff run, an award season appearance. These events provide natural focal points without requiring artificial drama. Each milestone renews interest while maintaining narrative coherence. Media planners already anticipate these moments, preparing coverage that blends context with continuity. In this sense, the Swift-Kelce story functions less like a traditional celebrity romance and more like an ongoing public chronicle. It unfolds alongside professional timelines, shaped by schedules, achievements, and external pressures. That structure gives it durability. There is always a next game, a next show, a next chapter. For audiences, this creates a sense of participation. Following the story does not require constant attention, yet rewards those who stay engaged. Small updates carry meaning because they fit into a larger arc. This is the same principle that sustains long-form narratives across other media, now applied to real-life. As of now, there is no indication that public interest is waning. Search trends remain elevated, engagement metrics stay consistent, and coverage continues across continents. What began as unexpected news has matured into a stable cultural reference point. In the broader landscape of modern media, that may be the most significant aspect of all. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have become an example of how visibility can be sustained without volatility. Their story demonstrates that in an era saturated with extremes, steadiness itself can command attention. For the foreseeable future, the narrative remains open, unfolding at its own pace. Each appearance adds texture rather than shock. Each achievement reinforces rather than competes. And as long as that balance holds, the spotlight is likely to remain, not glaring, but constant, tracking two figures whose parallel paths continue to intersect under global attention. As the narrative stretches further into the public timeline, a notable shift has emerged in how audiences emotionally engage with the story. What once sparked excitement through novelty now sustains attention through familiarity. The relationship between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce has entered a phase where predictability no longer weakens interest, but strengthens it. Each confirmation that both continue forward, professionally and personally, acts as reassurance rather than redundancy, reinforcing the sense that this story is built to last. Media researchers point out that long-form public narratives often fail because they depend too heavily on conflict. When tension disappears, so does attention. Yet the Swift-Kelce story defies this model. Its tension is structural rather than dramatic, demanding schedules, physical distance, public pressure, and expectations that never fully recede. These underlying forces create a constant, low-level suspense that keeps audiences watching, not for implosion, but for endurance. This endurance has become a central theme in coverage. Reports increasingly frame the relationship as a test of sustainability in the modern fame economy. Swift operates within a global touring machine that spans continents, languages, and time zones. Kelce competes in a league defined by physical intensity, weekly performance metrics, and relentless evaluation. That both continue to thrive simultaneously has shifted the story from romance to resilience. Industry insiders have noted how this perception feeds back into brand value. Swift's image as a disciplined, strategic artist aligns with Kelce's reputation as a focused, veteran athlete. Their association reinforces qualities that sponsors and partners prize: reliability, professionalism, and longevity. Unlike fleeting viral figures, they represent stability at scale, a combination that commands trust as much as attention. The evolution of fan behavior further illustrates this point. Online discussions have grown less speculative and more observational. Fans track tour routes and game schedules, noting overlaps and gaps with analytical precision. Rather than asking what's next in a dramatic sense, the question has become, how do they manage it? This subtle shift marks a maturation of audience engagement, where curiosity centers on process rather than outcome. Global press coverage mirrors this tone. European outlets often emphasize Swift's role as a cultural ambassador whose influence extends beyond music, while American sports media frames Kelce as an example of the modern athlete navigating celebrity without losing competitive edge. In Asian markets, Where Swift's popularity is particularly strong, Kelce's visibility has introduced NFL narratives into mainstream entertainment reporting. The story adapts to local contexts without losing coherence. The absence of direct commentary from Swift and Kelce themselves continues to be a defining factor. By declining to narrate their own story, they allow interpretation without surrendering control. This balance has proven effective. Analysts argue that it preserves narrative elasticity, enabling the story to stretch across time without snapping under the weight of over-explanation. As the calendar advances, cyclical milestones reintroduce momentum. Tour legs conclude and restart. Seasons advance toward playoffs. Award ceremonies, championship games, and international shows become convergence points where attention naturally spikes. Each moment feels earned, not engineered, reinforcing trust between the subjects and their audience. Cultural critics have begun placing the Swift-Kelce phenomenon within a broader historical context. Comparisons are drawn to past eras when music and sports icons intersected, yet few examples match the scale or symmetry seen here. Both figures operate at the apex of their fields, with independent legitimacy that predates their connection. This symmetry reduces imbalance, a factor often cited in the collapse of high-profile relationships. The narrative has also influenced expectations around privacy. While scrutiny remains intense,